Brands on Brands.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Brandon here. Today we're talking about personal branding, one person at a time. Now, I know a lot of people are looking to scale, but one of the fastest way to scale is, oddly enough, one person at a time. It's by making a strong enough impact on individual people that they want to talk more about you. So we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to dive into it. So let's do it.
In a world where content is king and your reputation is your brand, how do you build a brand that matters? Welcome to Brands on Brands, a home for those that think different and push their boundaries. This is where branding that matters lives. Now, here is your host, Brandon Birkmeyer.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Brands on Brands. I'm Brandon Birkmeyer, your personal branding coach, and we're getting intimate today. We are talking about how you leverage your personal brand through one-on-one communication, how you build your personal brand one person at a time. The way I'm doing that right now is here. I'm talking to you. I'm in your earbuds, and I'm inviting you. Let's have a chat. Go to brandsonbrands.com/chat and let's get to know each other. Or email me, brandon@brandsonbrands.com. Let me know what your favorite episode is or something that you'd like to hear me talk about on the show. That's one-on-one connection. I get to use this format for one-to-many so that more of you hear me and get back to me, but it is one-on-one in how I think about how I'm talking to you. But that's not exactly what I'm talking about today. So personal branding one-on-one for me means that when I go places and I meet people, I know that this is how most people are meeting me, is my feet on the ground through handshakes and showing up and participating in the places that I want to be known and in the places that I want to grow. So I have groups that I show up to because I want to learn something, and I have groups that I show up to because I want to participate and be a leader in that space, or because there are people there that I know are potential clients or people that might hire me for speaking or something else or coaching. And what I realize is a lot of us are good at the meeting people thing. We've gotten past the networking stuff, but we're bad at the follow-up. And if you don't remember anything else today, I want you to think about what you could do to step up how you follow up. Step up how you follow up. What could you be doing more of? And what could you be doing different? What I used to do was hand out business cards. And then I changed that to I would reach out right there in person and say, can we connect on LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever you prefer to connect? And then I would send them after the meeting, hey, great to meet you. Great to see you today. And I would hope that because we're connected, they might start seeing some of the stuff I post on LinkedIn or on Instagram and getting to know me a little better. But that also wasn't enough. That was better. But to truly build my brand one-on-one, I needed to take the extra step and follow up with an actual invitation to connect. So what I realized is once I meet someone, if I connect on LinkedIn and I say great meeting you, they're just going to say great meeting you also, and then we may never talk again. What instead I do these days is if I see someone, I say, hey, great meeting you. And then I go back afterwards and I mention, hey, it was great talking to you about this. If I can think of that, if I can remember that. I try to bring up something that I remember from the conversation or from meeting them. Or I look at their LinkedIn and say I see what they do. And I say, really interesting what you're doing here. I look forward to consuming more of your content or seeing more of the stuff you post. I show them a genuine interest because I am interested. But the most important thing I do is either in that or later, like I'll do the connection, I'll wait for them to respond and say, yeah, great to meet you too. Later, I'll generally say, so glad that we got to meet. I would love to get to know you even better. You know, these conferences, there's not a lot of time to actually get to know people. So if you're open to having a chat sometime, I'd love to just jump on a call and hear more about you. And I mean that, by the way. This isn't some trick. I'm not trying to get people on a call to try to sell them something. I will not sell them anything. I want to get to know them enough that I really understand what they do, who they serve, how they help, and how potentially I can help them. And if by the end of that call, I find something useful that I can help with, I might say, hey, if you want to jump on another call sometime, I'd be happy to do that to talk more about this. Or, hey, I'd love to send you some information or some referrals after this based on what you told me. And then I'll follow up a second time and go from there. But the point is, I have to invite them to something. Now, if you go back and look at the last 3, 4 things you went to, how many people did you meet? Did you write those names down somewhere? Now, after you wrote those names down, look what was your next step? Did you follow up? Did you connect with them online? And then did you send them an invitation to have another conversation? Not vaguely, not, yeah, we should chat again sometime. Specifically, like, hey, I'd love to continue the conversation and get to know you better. Let me know if I can send you a link so that we can set up a time to chat. Leave a question there that they have to answer so that you can continue the progress of your relationship. Now, some people I meet, I chat, and it's great to get to know them. And then maybe I'll follow up in like a month or two and be like, how have you been? Because I don't have any real thing that maybe is a connection for me in terms of a business or a way to help them. But I want to let them know that I'm still interested. Or I'll find something that they've posted and I'll comment on it to just stay involved in their life. But why is this important? Because if you want to be remembered and you want to build your personal brand one-on-one, you have to make the effort. We meet so many people, and how many of these relationships just start to fall by the wayside? How many people did you work for, like bosses that could give you great referrals that you haven't talked to since you stopped working with them? Guilty right here. You know, when I was working in a corporate environment, I would only reach out to my bosses when I needed the next referral for that next job 3 years later and then 3 years after that. So they would only hear from me every 3 years. That's not a great way to build a relationship or a personal brand. But it's standard, I think, for a lot of people. So the question is, how do you continue to set reminders for yourself? Like, here's a group of people. I'm going to continue to check in with them and find ways to interact, whether it's a direct message or through interacting with them some way online, following what they do and figuring it out. Now, I understand as you meet more and more people, this gets harder and harder. That's where tools come in, these personal branding tools to build your own platform and to get them on an email list. But you should know with 2 groups of people, really important stakeholders in your life. Who are the important influencers, connectors, people who might hire you? How do you keep them in a database, if you will, in your mind or online that reminds you, hey, I have to continue to connect with these people. So one group of people that you have to keep connecting with, like your priority people, call it your Dream 100 or whatever. Who are your most important people? And then a second group, which is who are the newest people you've met? Because oftentimes the newest people are the ones that are the most curious. So how do you stay in contact with your newest people and make sure you're deepening those relationships within that first 6 months? You may never go past that, but that's the only way to identify if those new people should be people you add to that key person bucket. This is the only way to manage this many contacts, is to be specific, to be intentional about how you show up and then how you deepen relationships. If you do that, the rest of it will take care of itself. That's my personal branding one-on-one thoughts for you today. I hope you found that useful. I hope you reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Maybe set up a chat. brandsonbrands.com/chat if you want to do that. Otherwise, keep on listening and letting me know that if you enjoy the show, if you find it useful. And that's it for today. And as always, I'll catch you next time.
You've just taken your marketing knowledge to another level with this episode of Brands on Brands. But we have plenty more ways to help you build a brand that matters. Head over to brandsonbrands.com for resources, as well as access to our blogs, videos, and exclusive coaching sessions with your host. Be sure to visit brandsonbrands.com.